because the first two commandments of the in the Old Testament are, you shall have no other gods before me, and you shall not make any graven images or idols. So they were just worshiping Yahweh. So stand up. I would say stand up by stand out by standing up. Stand out by standing up. But let's not just stand out because of what we don't do. We don't worship. Let's stand out because we demonstrate our values. We're investing in others, demonstrating kindness, giving generously, developing leaders, helping the helpless, strengthening the weak, giving hope. Let's be known also for our values and for living integrity, right? So let's stand out that way, right? So Rakshak and Abednego were brought before the king, King Nebuchadnezzar, and they were accused by the officials of the king. Can you imagine? That was probably even harder than this one. So now you're in a room, let's say, with 100 people, with the king right there, and he's looking at it, he's mad as anything, right? And all the officials are bitterly saying, those three did not bow, everyone else did, we did, they didn't. What's wrong? And you got to realize that some of these people were probably their current work colleagues, and some of them were their future work colleagues. And so talk about daggers in the back of your head. Have you ever had to stand up, and you wish you could just shrink or disappear? Maybe a teacher said, hey, Jason, stand up, right? What's the answer? And you're just going, and you're just like, I don't want to stand. I want to sit down right now. And you're almost shaking. Your head is red. Your face and neck and head is red, and your heart's pounding, okay? So Nebuchadnezzar is basically saying, what's going on here? I think I told you that when the music plays, you bow down. Now, whether this is good or bad, Nebuchadnezzar kind of liked these three Jewish guys. And so he gave them a second chance. And here's what he said. Now when you hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, and pipe, and all kinds of music, if you're ready to fall down and worship the image I have made, very good. But if you do not worship it, you will be thrown immediately into a blazing furnace. Then what God will be able to rescue you from my hand? So we're giving you a second chance. Now you know for sure. Maybe you missed the instructions the first time. Here's your second chance. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Now Nebuchadnezzar did not tell him to worship their God, Yahweh. He didn't say, don't worship God. What did he say? Also worship the golden statue. That's interesting. That might be where we get in trouble, right? So I can trust in wealth accumulation and God? Maybe center my heart on achievement and God? No. That's not how it works. That's when the drift begins, and when we're whole and integrated, when we start doing this, we start worshiping idols too, we start to disintegrate and we don't have disintegrity, right, at that point. Jesus basically calls worshiping an idol and God impossible. You can't do both, right? He says this in Matthew 6:24, Sermon on the Mount. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you'll be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. But isn't it kind of enticing to think maybe we could? Maybe I could have an idol and God? Look, God, I go to church, I give, I help people, I pray, I read the Bible, but why can't I also worship money or wealth accumulation or power or position? Why can't I do both? And Jesus says very clearly, you can't. And the commandments say that you can't. It doesn't work that way. But it's enticing. So let me ask you again. And you have a place there on your handout. What idols have you worshipped? What idols have you worshipped? Start writing them down. What have you worshipped? But maybe it'd be more instructive to ask the question, what do you worship on your bad days, on your stressful days? What do you worship? What idol do you worship? When we look at this, the more obvious idols here on the left-hand side, and we might even think, oh, these are you might even scoff at some of them. They seem now to be sort of outdated or crude or not sophisticated. Power, status, worshiping celebrities, money, gold, diamonds. Get a big diamond ring for my wife, right? Big cars, that kind of thing. Unfettered materialism. Heritage in, pride in my heritage or my family name. These are obvious idols that we kind of scoff at, right? And we're on the lookout for them so they don't fool us as easily. But there are other idols, today's current idols, that are a lot more crafty than those idols. And they're crafty because now listen to me, many of the things that we idolize are good things, very good things. In fact, many of them, most of them, are good gifts that God gives us, which kind of makes it hard. It really makes it hard, okay? And so let me start with my two biggest idols, all right? Achievement and excellence. Now that's one that's easy to disguise because God calls us to be excellent in all we do, to glorify Him, to make money for our family, keep our jobs, right? So that's kind of one that gets disguised easily. And then the other big one for me is approval and affirmation of people. Those are my two big ones. So I'd like to tell you a story. 7 years ago, I was working at a $2 billion food manufacturer. And I was working really long hours at the office, at home, at a choice, my own choice. And we had acquired many companies at this point, and my organization was in need of many new compensation, training, and organization development trainings and programs. It was a greenfield. It was a dream come true because I really love to create new plans, processes, programs, and implement them to help the organization and help people. I love it. It's my dream come true. And so I was working really hard, but what I realized was that I was utilizing all my energy for my work. Maybe you've done this before, and you come home, and you give your leftovers I gave my leftovers to my wife, Kathy, and my daughter, Claire, all too often in the name of excellence, in the name of achievement. I was more focused on what other people thought of me, the approval piece, than I was of what God thought of me. After about 15 months there, the SVP of HR gave me the best compliment I think I've ever had in my life. He said, "I've never seen anyone get as many quality projects done in such a short period of time. You're amazing." Woo! So good, so delicious, huh? Wasn't it amazing? He fed both of my big idols all at once. Could you live off of something like that, a compliment like that for months? It was amazing. Then I was promoted, so my achievement and people affirmation idols were center stage, even though I was trying to follow God. But it made me hungry for another compliment and another achievement, right? It's had more and more hunger. Do you know how I found out that these actual things have become the center of my life? They've become the center of my self-image and self-concept? When a couple of the projects went south for a while. Oh my gosh, I was crushed. And I had to, oh my God, I'm getting all my worth and my feelings, my good feelings about who I am from these things. I made them as my idol. So I had to realign my heart. When I have God at the center of my heart, I work for and focus on an audience of one. And that's when I live my values. And that's when I feel most integrity. So if you go to the right-hand side and look at a few other ones, relationships, bigger house, vacation, cars, wealth accumulation. We've seen a lot of these out in play in our lives. And we're in the western suburbs, right? A very affluent place, Naperville and Wheaton and so forth. Very high-paced, very competitive. So what are, not rhetorical, what are some of the idols that you see at play in your life or in a friend's life, you know? What are some of the idols you see playing out in Naperville and in this area?
House location.
House location? Yep. Mm-hmm. Want to live in the prestigious areas? Okay. What else?
Job.
Job? How so?
Title.
Job title? Position? Definitely. Good. What else?
School.
Huh?
Schools.
Schools? What schools your kids go to? High school, but also colleges, right? Mm-hmm. Definitely. Vehicles, right? Exactly. Driving the nice BMW SUVs and things like that, right? What else?
Expendable income.
Expendable income, work, okay. Spending it on?
Me?
On me, okay, good. Anything else?
That last one's huge in Naperville. My daughter's on the Galaxy Soccer Club, and your daughter's only on the whatever, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my daughter's on the travel sports team, and or my daughter's going to University of Chicago or whatever, right? Yeah. Now, what good parent wouldn't want our kids to be successful? You would not imagine how much time I've spent focusing on my daughter and helping her and getting her ready to launch, right, in a year. But there's a difference between that and we can actually make our kids' success an idol, and that's all we talk about. That's all we spend money on, because that's the center of our lives. God's supposed to be the center of our life. Kids are a gift from God, but when we actually just hold on to them too tightly, it goes from being a gift to God, a gift from God, to being something that gets in the way of our relationship with God. Does that make sense? Hi, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And feel free to share it with someone you think would enjoy the message. Thanks.